So we are starting today by talking about lesson 16, finding slopes and equations of lines. So we're going to start off with the warm-up to get to ignite previous knowledge. So here we have the vocabulary point. The pair of numbers 3, -1 is referred to as a or an linear pair or ordered pair. If you look at these two things, linear pair means you have 2 points. So here we have, this is just 1 point. So it can't be a linear pair. That means we have an ordered pair. Question number 2 says, given the equation x plus 2y is equal to 8, find the value of y when x is 3. So here we need to substitute in the 3 for the x. So we have 3 plus 2y is equal to 8. So now we undo the last thing happened to y before it became 8, which is we added 3. So here we're going to add 3, we subtract 3, subtract 3. This cancels out, we're left with 2y is equal to 8 minus 3 is 5. So now the last thing happened to y before it became 5 is we multiplied by 2. So here we multiply by 2, we divide by 2. Divide by 2, we have y is equal to 5 halves is 2.5. We don't know what context it is in, and we aren't given any fractions, so you can answer this with 2 1/2. It could be 5 halves. We really don't know what it is, but here I'm using 2 1/2, 2.5, 2 and 5 tenths. All right, which of these equations has x is equal to -2 as its solution? So we just kind of plug in -2 to all of these. So minus -2, 2 minus -2 as negative is plus, this is 4. That does not equal 0. You have -2 plus -2. -2, we have the same sign, so we subtract, keep the sign, we keep the sign. So that is -4 is equal to 0. That doesn't work. B, B. Over here we have 2 plus -2 is equal to 0. 2 plus -2 is 0 is equal to 0. So C isn't an answer. We don't know if it is the best answer, but it is an answer. And A is -2 minus 2 is equal to 0. So negative, we have the same sign. We add them and we keep the sign. That's -4. -4 is not equal. The only answer that makes sense is C. All right, so we're going to be using that information as we move on. So the linear equation is an equation whose graph is a line. Some examples are y is equal to 3x minus 1, 2x plus 5y is equal to 7, 10 is equal to 2x, x over 4 plus y over 13 is 1. So the variables in a linear equation have exponents larger than 1. So the variables in linear equations never have exponents larger than 1. So we are only dealing with one-dimensional variables. Linear equations connect algebra equations in x and y to geometry, lines in a coordinate plane. So we can see this is a line in a coordinate plane. Suppose x1 and y1 and x2 and y2 are points P and Q on the line in a coordinate plane. The rise from P to Q is the vertical change between P and Q and equals y minus y2. The run from P to Q is the horizontal change between P and Q and equals x over 2 minus 1x. So the way that this works is it is going to be the rise over the run. You can also think of it as the change in y over the change in x. So when I am doing slope, one of the things that I always do is I go up is positive, down is negative, and I'm always going in that direction. So for my rise can be positive or negative. If it's a negative rise, it means we're going down. And our run is always going to be in the right direction. So if we look at this, the slope of a line is defined as the ratio of the vertical change, rise, between 2 points on a line, and the horizontal change, run. Slope is equal to rise over run, 2y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. There are two special cases where a horizontal line, the rise is always 0, so the slope is 0 over run, which is 0. For a vertical line, the run is 0, the slope is undefined because the division by 0 is undefined. So what this is saying is if you have a line that looks like this, that is a positive slope. If we have a, we have, if the line looks like that, that's a positive slope. If the line looks like that, that's a negative slope. If it is a horizontal line, the slope is 0. And if it's a straight up and down, the slope is undefined. Another way to think about this is if you're a skier, here you're going up the hill, because you're always going this way, up the hill, this when you're going down the hill. So as you're riding the lifts, here you're going down the hill on skis. This, you'd have to be cross-country skiing to get across that, because it's 0. You aren't getting any help. You wouldn't be taking a lift or a. So here, example 1. Determine the slope of this line. Use the points 1, 5, and 3, 9 to calculate the slope. So here we have a graph. This is going to be the easiest way of doing it. So we go and we look, it's change in y. So once again, we notice it's going up. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 4 over 1, 2. That is 4 over 2, which is equal to. If we use just the points, once again, I want to keep my x as positive. So this is my bigger x. I'm looking and I want to do that way. So we have 3. So we take this point as our first one. That is 9 over 3. I'm taking this point here. And then we're subtracting that point. Minus 5 minus 1. 9 minus 5, 4. 3 minus 1, 2. All right, I'm not dealing with any negatives, so I'm just looking at, okay, which point will give me a positive slope, positive x. So I'm looking at that. And then I know that the equation is going to look like over minus minus, bigger x. And I put that in my first spot, so that's 9 over 3. And then I take my second point, and that is 5 over 1. So now here is another 2 examples. So here we already have a graph. If you remember, I always say if there's no graph, graphing will make it easy. So here we have a graph. You're looking at this. You go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Up 6. And then we go over 1, 2. Remember, I'm always saying over because I'm going that direction. 6 over 2, which is equal to. So the slope of that line is 3. I'm looking at these, and I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So here, this one, my 3 is bigger than 2. So that one, this point is going to go first. We have 4 over 3. You take the last one, you put it on the top, put the first one on the bottom, minus and minus, because you're always doing minus and minus. 2 and 1, 2, 1. Is equal to 4 minus 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. 3 minus 1 is 2. We have 2 over 2, which is equal to 3.